Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Friday, November 8, 2024. The Ministry of Labour and Social Security is now spearheading coordinated disaster relief efforts to assist residents affected by Tropical Storm Raphael. The ministry, which acts as the chair of the Humanitarian Assistance Committee of the National Disaster Risk Management Framework, has mobilized and deployed its parish teams. They are distributing relief items in areas affected by severe flooding and landslide conditions in 8 parishes: St. Mary, St. Anne, Westmoreland, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine, and Kingston and St. Andrew. In an update provided yesterday, the ministry reports that thus far it has provided over 2,000 food packages, 77 cases of drinking water, 195 hygiene kits, and 50 mattresses to residents. In collaboration with the Jamaica Red Cross, special attention is being directed toward reaching residents marooned in Mount Airy, St. Andrew. Similar relief efforts are underway to assist marooned residents in McNeil Land and Bay Road in Westmoreland. A shelter has been opened at the Eldon Washington Basic School, which is now housing 8 people. The Labour and Social Security Ministry has also commenced the process of assessing damage to homes in order to determine the level of support to be provided to householders. The assessments are being done with the support of the Poor Relief Department, the Salvation Army, Food for the Poor, and Jamaica Red Cross. Residents whose homes have sustained damage are urged to report these incidents via the ministry's Customer Contact Center at 876-922-8000-13. Reports can also be submitted in person to any of the ministry's parish offices. Meanwhile, the Jamaica Public Service Company is projecting that it will complete full restoration of electricity supply post-Tropical Storm Raphael by this Sunday, November 10. The company says it has now concluded its assessment of the damage to the country's electricity network, and less than 2,000 customers are still without power. According to JPS's President and Chief Executive Officer, Hugh Grant, the restoration has been moving quickly as the company activated its 24-hour incident command operations early so that its teams could begin working as soon as it was safe to do so. But, he says, this final phase of the restoration process will be the most time-consuming, as it tackles infrastructure in very difficult terrain and isolated cases in affected communities. The head of the Light and Power Company adds that JPS is working with the relevant agencies to gain access to communities that have been blocked off by landslides. Jamaica's seat capacity out of Europe has again expanded as the island prepares to welcome a new flight out of Portugal. World to Fly is set to begin offering flights from Lisbon in Portugal to Montego Bay in summer 2025. Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett has welcomed the news, pointing out that the service will enhance visitor arrivals from continental Europe by approximately 7,000 passengers from the period of June to September 2025. The non-stop weekly flight will be operated by an Airbus A350 with approximately 432 seats. World to Fly is a relatively new Spanish airline established in 2021 as part of the Spanish hotel and tourism conglomerate, the Iberostar Group. The airline focuses on leisure destinations in the Caribbean with routes from Spain and Portugal. Minister Bartlett and his team met with the company's executive leadership at the World Travel Market currently underway in London. He says the partnership with a dynamic and innovative airline like World to Fly aligns perfectly with the government's vision of expanding Jamaica's tourism market and generating significant economic benefits for the country. The Ministry of Agriculture has received a significant donation of $10 million to boost agricultural resilience in the Hounslow area of St. Elizabeth. The donation from Grace Kennedy Foods was officially handed over in a ceremony held recently at the National Irrigation Commission's Hounslow Pump House. The money will be allocated in 2 parts: $6.2 million for a generator to keep the pump house operational during power outages, and $3 million for fertilizers, irrigation supplies, and seedlings to support local farmers. Portfolio Minister Floyd Green says this kind of support is important to ensuring the long-term sustainability of agriculture in the area.
I really want to thank GK for stepping forward. GK is a massive part of our agricultural enterprise here in St. Elizabeth and across Jamaica. They support a number of farmers, and when we looked at the Hurricane Beryl recovery, they were quick to put up their hands and say they wanted to help.
GK's General Counsel and Chief Corporate Secretary, Gail Moss Solomon, explains that Grace Agro-Processors operates a factory in the community that relies on farmers for ingredients used in their pepper sauces and jerk seasonings.
This is super important for us, and we see it as a great partnership with the ministry.
And finally, the Jamaica Cultural Development Commission, JCDC, is urging persons to submit their creative pieces for the 2025 Festival of the Performing Arts competition. The competition is held annually to unearth, develop, and display the creative talents of Jamaicans.
There's a kind of mistaken belief that the piece you're entering must now be stage ready before you enter the piece, and we want to debunk that. We want to say, for instance, say speech, you may identify a speech piece, enter it, and then you go work on it to prepare it.
Entries for the 2025 Festival of the Performing Arts opened on Monday, November 4, and the deadline for submissions is December 13, 2024. Persons can enter by logging on to the JCDC's new digital platform, www.jcdc.awardsplatform.com. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.